Hi, book club members. I'm Jen.
And I'm Keri.
And this is Warhammer 40k Book Club, where we read from a crag. This is episode number 160, and our book is Krakenblood by Marc Collins. It tells the story of a space wolf group going to hunt for a magical MacGuffin. Things go less than well. We posted several
The
questions on our
Space
website.
Wolves are cosplaying as blood angels this week.
Look, they're not after a chalice, it's a horn, and that's totally different.
Yeah, because you don't
posted
drink out of a
several
horn or
questions.
anything.
This sounded more like the Horn of Gondor, like the Avengers assemble conch. Stop distracting me.
They totally
We're
drink out of that
professional.
horn.
We're professional. We posted several questions on our website, WH40kbookclub.com, and we encourage participation in our conversations via YouTube, our site, or Encrypted Vox channel. Spoiler warning. If you haven't yet read the book, definitely check it out before listening to this podcast, as we're going to talk about it in great detail from start to finish, and apparently we're starting with the goddamn horn!
Not my fault
As
they decided to
always.
cosplay as blood angels.
As always, Keri, did you like the book?
No. Bored out of my mind.
Really?
The only thing I liked about it was that the Thousand Sons won.
Kind of.
It was enough.
I actually that was not my read on that situation at all. I actually really liked that. There's actually a lot of stuff there that I kind of dug. So, anyways, I actually really enjoyed this book. I went in with like super low expectations because Marc Collins has not really wowed me. And not gonna lie, when I saw Hellventer in that like second chapter, I was like, oh boy, here we go.
Strangely enough, he was like one of the few characters I liked.
This was the first and only Hellventer character in which I have been fully invested, and I really liked him.
You know
I
why?
Really liked him.
Because he's adopted.
Mayhaps. I have to. Okay, let's go into what part stood out to you, because I have to say one thing. This was the one thing about this that really did bother me, was that so they get they get caught in this dark mechanicus web, right? And things are going less than well. And I think everybody knows, if you've listened to our podcast for a while, you know, when the Geller field falls is like one of my favorite things. And I was sitting there reading this aloud to my husband because he just had a surgery. And we got to that point and I was like, oh, hell yeah. This book is now up my alley. But when they get caught in the dark mechanicus web and there's like demons and there's like dark mechanicus stuff going on, it's all terrible. Did you notice that Bodil was not mentioned once?
Not until she died.
All of a sudden she disappears, and I was like, I assumed she died.
Yeah,
and my
same.
husband said the same thing. He was like, I kind of thought she was dead. Has she been hiding in a cabinet? Apparently.
Well, she didn't hide very well. I mean,
and I'm going to keep it real. She doesn't even go out like a badass.
Nope.
She just kind of gets up there, does the Aquila, and gets yanked off the stage. It's almost like Marc Collins was like, okay, I think I've run this character dry. Anyways, killed. But that was like, when she appeared, that's the part that stood out to me, because I was like, what? It ripped me right out of the book. Where has she been this whole time?
Yeah, because actually I was like, I guess I missed where she died. Oh, well. And then she showed up, I'm like, or not.
Right? My goodness.
No, I guess what stood out to me was we're friends, I'm mad. We're friends, I'm mad. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about that. Those were some of the parts I struggled with. Yeah. Anyways, agreed with that. It was really like, it went back and forth. It almost felt as though he would write sections of the book, leave for a while, come back and forget what he had already written. So
maybe.
then, or maybe it was just a way to keep that chippiness alive. I don't know. I was also not a huge fan of that. I really liked Ulrich the Slayer. I loved how he handled Ulrich the Slayer. I thought all of his scenes were really good. there were a lot of little things that just jumped out that I was like, oh, that's nice. None of it was amazing, but that was nice. I enjoyed that. Uh, but overall, you know, it was just a good book. Like for me, it was like a solid B minus.
To me, it
Let's
was
talk about the
too much
wolves.
padding. Like, it honestly felt like it was a
We're gonna
short.
talk a lot
It
about
was a
that.
short story that someone was like, you know what? There might be a novella in here, and so he made it a novella. And they're like, you know what? Just add another 100 pages, and we can make this a novel. Because there was so much I was like, wow, we seem to have gotten to the end, and I have like 2/3 of the book left. Oh wait, now. So now we're waylaid doing this, just to the point when we get to the horn, he just smashes it and they move on. Like, seriously? It reminded me a lot, honestly, of Halo 5. I know I'm pulling that one out of my ass. But so if you read the Halo novels, all 10 of us who did, there was this one character from the elite race. I can't remember the name of the race right now, but they were called the elites in the original Halo. There was this one character in the books that was basically who was constantly dogging the humans. He was a terrorist. He was doing Velthadam. He was doing all these horrible things. They captured him, tortured him, and he escaped. So then they're trying to find him again. And at the beginning of Halo 5, what happens? This guy they've been trying to find forever, killed in the first 5 minutes of the game. I was like, well, that was anticlimactic. I was expecting him to be the big bad in the game because he was a terror. And nope. You know, as soon as we get there, nope, he's dead. I was like, wow, that was such a letdown. And my friends who read the books, we were part of, there was 2 of us. So there was like, we were part of the 10. We were all like, wow, that was anticlimactic. And for this guy that they had built up so much. That's kind of how I felt for this. We've gone through all of this and, you know, there's not even a big fight scene. We don't have to do much. We're just smashing it. Okay.
I actually really liked that. And the reason I liked it, jumping down to whether or not the MacGuffin was an effective plot device, they go to the dead planet, right? They go to the dead planet and then they have all of the warp stuff that goes on, right? And then they have the Dark Mechanicus. And then they eventually get down to where they meet the Thousand Sons. And he basically, it clicks on him, right? This stupid MacGuffin is just luring people in, and this is an unending cycle. Like, I'm gonna die, we're gonna die here, right? The Thousand Sons will kill us, or something else will kill us on the path of getting this stupid horn. And then somebody else is gonna come after us. And then somebody else is gonna come after us. And it's just this unending cycle to get this stupid friggin' horn. So I actually thought that was great, that he's like, I'm gonna break the cycle right here and right now.
I mean, I understood it. It just was like,
right.
It was almost just like someone was like, wrap it up, buddy.
Oh, see, I actually really like that. Is he's just like, oh, yeah, we're not winning this, so I'm just killing it. I thought that was good because the problem that I was having with this whole book is I was like, man, because this is the problem that I have with a lot of magical MacGuffin plot devices. I understand that's a plot device, but plots with the MacGuffin in it is it never feels worth it. Like, people get to something, and actually one of the only books that I have read in probably the last 5 years where I was like, oh, that's a MacGuffin that makes sense, was Josh Reynolds' Cal Jericho book, right? Where what in God's name could everybody be chasing? Oh, that actually makes some sense then, right? That's what I usually hate, is that it's generally something where you're like, I guess. So the whole time I was like, what is this going to be? No. And I knew, like, I pretty much knew from the beginning, I was like, okay, this horn is either going to be fake or some chaos thing. It's not what they're thinking it's going to be, but this better be good. And no, it's just a trap. That's all it is. It's a little anglerfish lure. I liked it. I thought that part of it worked. But so we both have our strong opinions about the wolves. You struggle with the wolves. I really like the wolves. Did you like how Marc Collins wrote the Space Wolves?
Nope. No,
Damn. Although
I don't know. And I think it's because the weird thing is that he was actually writing the pouty Space Wolves. So you would think that I would like that. But then he brings in Yeetri, who embodies everything I hate about the Space Wolves in one character. So that kind of clouded some things. And honestly, just because of the back and forth, like we're friends, I hate you, we're friends, I hate you. It's like a 5-year-old inviting someone to their birthday party. Jesus, just my God. I didn't enjoy any of it. I was like, I felt like they weren't even made badass. Like,
I really liked Brynjar. I disagree with you there on Brynjar, and I actually really liked Eitri and Villy. I thought everybody else was just like I'm a space wolf. Okay, cool. Like, no personality, right? Villy didn't even have that much personality. He just had the most dialogue. Hrungnir, again, right? Or Randall.
I mean, they had personality. I just don't like their personalities.
Oh, see, I disagree. I didn't even think they had personality. Like, they showed up.
I'm talking about like Brynjar. Like, I didn't like his personality.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so I really liked Brynjar. God, there were some chapters, and I think this goes to your point about them. Like, oh, we're friends again. No, we're not friends. We're friends. No, we're not friends. I didn't know what to make of Ivar Krakenblood. Some scenes, some chapters, I was like, oh man, I know you are a good character. I like you. And then there would be another, like the very next chapter, I'd be like, never mind.
Yeah.
He needed some consistency, or he needed some growth. I don't want to say that he, like, stolen honor, stolen valor or whatever from Ulrich. He definitely had, like, I mean, he was a badass fighter, but I don't think some of his bravado was earned.
Like, no, I felt like so much of the stuff was, especially with him, was just a lot of, what a magical coincidence. Like, as they're getting lost on the dead planet, and he just starts smashing his Crozius into the wall. Behold, the ship.
Okay, that part also bothered me, because as I was reading it, so again, thank God I was reading it aloud. And the funny thing is, my husband was high as shit on painkillers and muscle relaxers. And I'm reading that scene, and you know what? It just dawned on me. That was why he understood it. Because I'm reading that scene, and I'm like, wait a minute. I cannot track the geography here. Like, we were underground in a tunnel, but now we've gone through the tunnel, and now we're at the side. And yes, I will give you that whole piece. The planet piece in general, I was like, okay, this is kind of interesting. Oh yeah, sure, okay. But my husband was like, no, tunnel. And they went through, and you can picture it. He's like using his hands to show like how the geography would be. And I'm like, I guess maybe I needed the muscle relaxer.
I mean, you could totally explain to me and draw me a picture. I'd be like, okay, sure. But the fact was, he just started speeding the crap out of a wall. And it's like, look, it's right here. Okay.
Well, and I will. This is another thing that did stand out to me, and I will say this did. I felt like each section he didn't really know how to end. And
no.
My example of this was, okay, how many times did the Dark Magos threaten to kill Ivar Krakenblood?
Right, at one point I was like, God, just do it already.
Just do it. Do it. I was like, every end of every single chapter with the Dark Magos was, I will kill you now. To do it.
So it
my
didn't help.
Brother in Christ.
I was actually listening to the audiobook with this, and no, I still can't repeat how they pronounce the Horn's name. Don't ask me to, because I was like, what? It was very Scottish name. The guy had a Scottish accent. He actually said it very, very beautifully. I was like, I couldn't have picked that out of a dime.
Bet he did.
But anyway, I'll put it this way. It doesn't sound like how it looks.
Oh, I have to actually see the word again, because I know that it has a thorn in it, so it has that but that weird the.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's reading it. He's kind of slow reading it, very booming voice. But when it got to the Dark Magos, and he was, I don't know, it's like, just pulled my car in the garage. And he's like, did you think it would be that easy? And I turned off my car. I was like, he says and maniacally laughs. And I got out. I was like, my God, dude, you're a better writer than this. Stop at the
Yes.
tropes.
So I was saying Vargridthorn.
Nope.
Okay, I'm gonna have to pull up an audio of that then. But yeah, like that was when I finally said to my husband, I was like, "Is he just gonna kill this guy?" And Jim goes, "No, he has to monologue. You sly dog, you got me monologuing." Pretty much, like every chapter, and it just felt like, and how many times did the navigator nearly die?
Right. You know
Oh my goodness,
the
like
whole torture
little
scene.
details like that.
What it kind of reminded me of, like even in the end when they're laughing at him, he's like, the crack grenades are going off. It reminded me of that scene in True Lies after Arnold Schwarzenegger's had the truth serum and he tells the interrogator what he's going to do to him. And he's like, "Oh yes, and how are you going to do that? Because I've already picked my cuffs." It was that's all I could think of. Of course, he's like, "And did you think it would be that easy?" And like, well, it never is. And I don't know why you have to write that obvious, because it was very plain to me that that was just a construct. I knew
I was actually I was kind of hoping for the Kill Bill line. You didn't think it was going to be that easy, did you? You know, for a second there, yeah, I kind of did. But yeah, I'm with you. Is that when they throw him off the Emperor Palpatine him? I was like, yeah, no,
right.
like there's no way this whole superstructure is him, and they had already kind of like implied that, right, with some of the
Yeah.
ways that he was interacting with it. That yeah, so it was like he had this really cool idea of, okay, what if they showed up in this dead planet, right? And it's just nothing but like demons and beastmen, and oh my god. Okay, but how are they going to get out of it? Yes. And then, okay, what if they went to like a dark mechanicum place and it was like a spider web, because it's literally like just like catching ships and this guy is there? Oh my god, that's so cool. How are they going to get out of it? Crack grenades. Hey.
Well, so they knock out Bringar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take his weapons, but they don't try to put him in a hole when he's obviously part Mechanicus.
They put all the other guys in a hole.
Right, but
They put
not
all
him.
the other space wolves in a hold.
But not him. He's there just laying out.
Right.
It's like, okay, oh look,
And
I could just get into the code.
Arrogance is only so much of an excuse.
Yeah, again, it's too much of a convenience, like the breaking of the wall. There's the ship. There is too much of this. Isn't this convenient ploys?
Right, like we need to move the story along. Okay, they've been on this planet for a really long time. Is this the whole book? No. Then maybe you should wrap it up. Oh, okay. Yeah, they'll just break through the wall.
But that's my point with the end. You dragged so much for these things that didn't even matter in the end, just to rush the ending. Like,
actually, okay, so here let's drop down to Honorous. Here's why I really liked that scene. And I actually really liked that and found that satisfying. To a point. We'll talk more about that in a second. Because, oh man, did I not like the ending. Like the ending. Where everyone's like, oh, we're all sad now.
he cursed us. And my response is, and?
How? But no.
He did words. He said words.
I will not accept that as an excuse. Well, you've cursed us. Okay, do you understand that the magical MacGuffin was being used to lure us out here? We've broken a cycle and essentially saved the chapter. Like, I hate misunderstandings in books or movies that could be cleared with a 2-sentence conversation.
Yep.
Right? Like, I saw you talking to that other woman. It storms off. Like, yeah, that was my cousin. Like, simple that normal functional human beings would have, and I will only accept that the wolves are proud and that these space marines do not deal well with their feelings to a point. Same thing with the Dark Mechanicus. Why didn't you trap all of these guys? I will only accept arrogance as an excuse to a point. But with Honorous, I don't even like the space. I don't even like the Thousand Suns, and I'm not gonna lie, on the 5th time that we went to see what he was doing, I was like, this shit better have a point, and it better have a point quickly. because we would jump over to him talking with his, and I was like, okay, so he's imagining talking with conversations with his rubric marine.
Right.
Where are we going with this? Okay. And then he did make that ending. I actually thought that was lovely. And in fact, I loved that conversation. You knew we would come. You? No.
Oh,
Space
I love
Wolf?
that.
Yes.
That was great.
That's a cold ass line. That is a cold ass line. And also though, again, I liked that Ivar did the math. He's like, yeah, this isn't going to go well for us. In fact, this is actually really terrible. So I'm just going to smash it. And I also liked it because the other reason I enjoyed that is that it was so out of left field. Onerous clearly, sorry, I was saying onerous because onerous didn't feel right. How were they saying it in the audiobook?
I don't even remember. I glazed over.
That's fair.
Actually, you know
but
what?
When onerous,
I was mostly reading those chapters because I would read and listen, and
yeah, I've done that before. Onerous, that never even occurred to him, right? Because you guys are space wolves and you guys like your little artifacts, right? All of the loyalist guys, you like your little artifacts. The idea of one of them just breaking something, because I even liked Onerous's reaction to it, to like, I'm sorry, you did what? Kind of felt, I don't know. I enjoyed it.
Like, I feel like I'm not expressing myself very well. So it's like, you're saying these things like, yes, I enjoyed that, but I guess because it was so rushed at the end, it was like we had all this build up and then he gets there and it's instant. There is no like scouting. There is no any of that. They're just now starting this from everything else that had happened that was so long-winded and didn't need to be. It would have been nice if this one had just a little, I'm not saying this needed to have as much padding as everything else. No, not at all. And I loved his conversation. Like, you know, it's like, you, I wasn't waiting for you specific. You're so vain. Loved that. Like, again, like Marc Collins, you can write amazing stuff like that, but then you're right. Did you think it would be so easy? Please.
Right. I think I will agree with you. And here's the part that I will agree with you on that. I loved that whole scene. It didn't feel rushed to me. Them getting out of there, though, felt very rushed. You know, like they destroy the hammer and Onerous is like, ah! And then they're just like,
okay.
And we're out.
So that's what it is. It wasn't the fact that he smashed it. It was just like, we've done, and you guys can't stay here anymore, and that's it. We're leaving.
I will 100% agree with you.
I was like, wait, what? There's no fight to get out? There was a bigger fight to get out of the spider web.
Oh my God, yes. There was.
So thank you for coming on this journey with me and explaining why that felt the ending was rushed. No.
I totally agree with you there. They were like,
and then they pouted.
So frustrating. I think the thing that made it so frustrating was that they described them going in, right? And they're like, wow, there's like all of these like these after images of these things from the past, and kind of like setting you up to think, we're going to have to fight our way out of this, or we're going to have to fight our way in. And so they didn't have to fight their way in, but they also didn't have to, like I understood that like Onerous would be like, what have you done?
Right, exactly.
Then why would like everything else break? Like he could be distracted.
Why would the rubric
just like,
why would the rubric all break? Why would he suddenly dissolve? That made no sense.
That made no sense.
And
okay,
then
I totally agree with you.
And then he was like, you guys are never going to make it home. Oh, okay, sure, whatever. And then they all come back on the ship like, oh my God.
We will.
He cursed us. Like, you heard his mean words. We're never going back. I'm like, why? Why?
But okay. Like, again, we have a navigator. You're a little chooched, but it's fine. We have a navigator. We have this. We have that. Like, we have a ship. We have a functional, like, everything's fine.
Made no sense.
Again, and again, and again. You saw what was happening here. You heard the man's words, unless he was speaking just to Ivar and nobody else heard. Like, you heard what's going on. There's that really great Warhammer, it's one of the Hammer and Bolter animations, and it's of those, they're Black Legion guys, and they're going to find a MacGuffin. And then it turns out that they're just in one of Trazen's Tesseract cubes. And they're like, well, we got to get out of here. And he's like, you won't. You're going to forever keep coming back for this thing. Like, I will drop you back at that point of decision, and you will always choose this path. Always.
Right.
And so The man explained to you what he's doing. It's all a trap. It's a ruse. Oh, they've cursed us. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Also, the horn has been in Chaos's hands for how long? And he's using it as a
This wasn't
focus.
this wasn't like Homer's Odyssey where Polyphemus is praying to Poseidon that he's going to take him another 10 years to get home because he poked me in the eye. This was an angry thousand son throwing a temper tantrum and saying, "You will never make it home." Why you believe that's fact is beyond me.
Right. And like, we don't trust Chaos. We don't trust the Thousand Sons. But he's like, you'll never make it home, man. That man from the lips of God.
I guess we're not going to. This is all Ivar's fault. We never should have come here. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
When did you guys become Repentia all of a sudden? Like,
seriously. There are, and don't get me wrong, there are many, 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 many things for which you can be angry at Ivar.
yes.
You totally can. Like, you can absolutely, okay, you know what? We've won, but at what cost? Like, this was a Pyrrhic victory.
Although they only lost, considering they only lost 2 people, I think that's pretty dang good. But, whatever.
To Space Wolves.
Well, who cares about anybody else?
Well, that's true. That's Phil. But like the human toll of this, Astartes or non, right, was pretty high. And there is a question that I do want to go back to and discuss on this. But like, there were many legitimate reasons that you could be angry at the man. This is not one of them.
Right.
Again, you could have been angry about so many things, but this is a bold stance to take. One thing I liked with Honorus, though, and this is one of those things that I'm really starting to like as a touch. I don't remember what book it was. What Fulgrim book did we read where Fulgrim keeps reliving?
Oh, that was the last Josh Reynolds book.
It was where he keeps reliving that moment.
Yeah, we just kept rebuilding.
I liked Honorus too. And this is not the first time we've seen this with the Thousand Sons, where he's like, yes, I'm basically just living in the past. I am living with the past. I have my memories of my friends are with me, and look at what we could have built. I love the idea that after that after the Horus Heresy, so many of these legionnaires, like I guess the more cerebral ones, they're just stuck in their glory days of, man, what could have been.
Look at the glory of Prospero, and you guys burned for no reason. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And like, oh, we could just go back to that. Right. And I also liked it because he's just like, oh, all of the promise. Like, dude, you were literally treating with demons. Like, you don't, that part of it, we just kind of skirt across that piece, right? But
no, they were familiars. Oh my God. Just explain this to you.
I find that so fascinating, sad, and fascinating. And I think it's a nice character touch for him too, that he just, one of my favorite scenes in, what was that book? It was, what's her face's book with the, Rachel Harrison with the sisters when they kill the Rubric Marine and the Thousand Sun is just like, I just wanted to hear my friend's voice again.
Oh,
right. That's man. A thing.
I remember that one. Can't remember the name of it though. I see the cover.
Yeah, same with all the Tzeentch demons. That's another note that I really like. Like, I don't like the Thousand Sons at all. Can't stand them. But that's a note that I always love, that they're always.
Well, remember Iskander?
Mm-hmm.
That one, when he did hear him talk and he said, when the one Rubric said, run.
Yep. Remains one of my favorite things. Actually, as much as I really don't like the Thousand Sons, I do like the Rubric Marines. I do like them. And yeah, that was one of those. That was a nice little note. I thought that was a really great note. That just, when all of a sudden you realize, you're like, oh yeah, Car's not here. Not in the way that we're thinking.
Right.
All right, I have to go back and ask something though. Was Ivar Krakenblood's heart in the right place for chasing down this horn after they've faced the issues they've faced? Mostly, let's go at each of their little junctures. After the dead planet, they have the OG Krakenblood's body. Why not just go home?
Well, it wasn't like the original mission was to get the relic, and if you could find Krakenblood, that's a bonus.
Right. But
So,
you found Krakenblood, but no relic. But
I mean, so you've fulfilled the optional quest, but the main quest is still active. So that actually made sense to me, that they would continue. Now, the thing about the Dark Mechanicum web, because that actually was on the map, right? That forge, like we're looking for a forge. Well, you found it.
it just isn't a forge as you were thinking it would be.
Maybe that would have been like, that point in time in the Goonies when maybe they should have turned around and went home. But, Goonies never say die. So we gotta keep going forward. I think it would have been at that point, honestly, is when he should have been like, you know what? I've made it further than Gorm. Maybe we just say this relic is lost and move on.
Yes. I don't believe that his heart was in the right place. I do think he was a glory hound. He was absolutely a glory hound and was like, nah. I'm going to be the one. I'm going to be the one because I want to be famous. No.
Because this Krakenblood's going to be really famous.
Well, I mean, Ulrich ends the story, which that actually kind of miffed me a little bit when he's just like, let me tell you the story of Ivar Krakenblood. I was like, oh, God damn it. Now you're rewarding him.
But you don't even know. You don't know what happened to him.
He rolled them bones. Maybe he felt a tremor in the force when he destroyed the horn. Maybe he low-key knew what was going on with this.
Yeah, whatever.
I got no idea. I really got no idea. That when he was like, oh, let me tell you the song about Ivar Krakenblood.
The fact that they didn't make it back, and was like, okay, whatever. And then he's like, we're going to tell you a story. It's like, how do you know a story? There's no way you know anything. You just know that he went out there. As far as you know, he died trying to find Gorm in the first place. You don't know anything.
Right.
It wasn't like they were writing letters home, sending postcards. Wish you were here.
Yeah, with their astropathic choir that somehow survived all of their hardships unnumbered.
Oh, with the Geller field failing right and left.
When they talked about the pinchers piercing the Geller field, it was like, you're gonna need some duct tape for that.
No.
Flex tape?
Flex tape. I was going to say flex tape. Right. It's the only way to keep all them demons out.
That was one thing where
it
I was just like,
water and demons from getting out.
That felt like a little bit of a permanent destruction. Maybe I'm just not thinking this right, but that was actually one of the more horrifying scenes of them getting caught in that web when they talked about the pinchers coming in and piercing the Geller field. It was like, I know that it's like an energy barrier, but that just, I don't know. Piercing it feels like that should be permanent damage.
I mean, they already had a dead ship floating in the water, and
that's true.
2 Gellerfield crashes, and now this. So, I mean, if they had gotten back to the ship and they found out that it was officially dead ski, like, oh, I guess he really did curse us, maybe I would understand. But the fact they were just sitting there pouting, even though the Magos and the Engine is alive and well, could make the ship go. I really do not understand why they didn't make it home.
I don't either, other than they're like, you've broken our word, you've cursed us. Like, how?
Yeah.
How? I don't know. All right, let's go back and talk about Geralt for a second, because I think this was a surprise and delight character. I saw Hellvinter and my eyes rolled themselves.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, of course. Great,
especially when
yay.
the Gothi was there. It's like, oh, yay. I guess that's one thing I
Yeah.
say about her death. She can't bring back any annoying characters anymore.
That's right. No, she can't raise more people from the dead in a totally Imperium sanctioned
Right.
event. I don't know. I wonder if like other people complained about that. Was this not just me that like landed really raw with? And he's like, all right, maybe I gotta just kill off this character, because nobody's invested in her anymore. I was actually really scared that Geralt wasn't gonna make it out of this because man, he started as just kind of meh, and man, at the end, I was totally invested in him.
Mm-hmm.
He was not self-righteous. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was because he was adopted and he wasn't. I feel as though whenever we've encountered humans from Fenris, like baseline humans,
But he
they're
wasn't
like,
even from Fenris.
right, but I mean, like, I think that's why I liked him, is that I feel
Because
like
he
a lot of
wasn't
times.
from Fenris. Because honestly, the humans from Fenris are probably the most annoying characters that come out of Fenris.
Yes, and I think it's because there's this desire. The only person who's ever actually done it well that I can think of off the top of my head was ADB in The Emperor's Gift, that Inquisitor
The
who was from
Inquisitor.
Fenris.
Yeah.
But that was basically just like, she's just like, oh yeah, I'm from Fenris. And then she had like a religious moment when,
Bjorn. Yeah.
yeah, when Bjorn wakes up. But everybody else I feel like has to like out Fenris the Space Wolves. This person's from Fenris. That means they're hardcore.
We're tribal.
Exactly, we're tribal and we're hardcore. And you think the wolves are hot blooded? Look at us. And it was like, oh, I never like the Fenrisian human characters.
No,
And
like I didn't like the Skald. I can't remember her name. Because she was so much of a Mary Sue character for me. I did not like her at all. And of course
Kadra.
Yeah, and of course she lives. Of course she does.
Yeah, well, and Leaf goes out like a badass protecting her, and I was
Right.
like, oh man, you just sacrificed the wrong character. Although, let's be real, they need to now replace Bodil. So Kadra is going to probably be the replacement, right?
Well, I mean, we saved the Skald that's not going to be able to tell any stories because apparently they're not coming home because they've been cursed. Sure.
Well, maybe they'll hook up with the rest of the Rogue Trader fleet. And,
Well, maybe they'll find the other Hellventer with what's his nut from the Rogue Trader.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Maybe they'll all just go off on a little merry murder spree. But I thought that Geralt had, maybe it was because he felt like he had to prove something. I really liked him. He was very measured. He was he didn't like freak out about stuff. I thought that in the face of, oh, hey, BT dubs, you're going to have a bunch of space wolves on your ship. He was like, okay, all right, I can handle this. I thought he was pretty unflappable.
Yeah,
Again.
especially he was watching them fight and was just like, okay, are we done? Where are we going?
I'm not gonna lie. I actually really loved that scene because I was just trying to imagine being like the crew of like, oh my god. Because one of the things that like we always see a lot of in books is when baseline humans talk about the Astartes and they're literally violence incarnate.
Mm-hmm.
And having a bunch of them on your bridge fighting.
Well, yeah, I mean, he actually did a really good description from his point of view of when he was watching them fight. Can't remember the exact words, but it just like how it was terrifying and like divine. He's like, there's no. I don't remember exactly what he said, but watching them fight, he was both scared and in awe. He's like, this is not normal type thing. Honestly, my favorite scene with him was when he made the navigator snap out of it.
Yes. Yes, absolutely agreed. I'm not generally into the navigators, and I was a little irritated by the fact that I think she was basically killed 3 times, but then somehow was inexplicably alive and fine in the next scene that she was needed. Plot device, the character.
She was mostly dead.
She was exactly. She just had a little bit of the trauma.
Mm-hmm.
She got touched by a little bit of the trauma, but she's fine now because we need her. It was almost like he killed her a couple of times, and then somebody was like, "Bro, how are they going to get through the warp?" She lived.
She got better.
Exactly, she got better. It's fine. It's fine. It happens all the time. That poor lady. It's rough in these streets for a navigator. But yes, I thought I loved his interactions with her. I loved his interactions with Valak. I loved
Mm-hmm.
he was exactly what you would like the scion of a rogue trader dynasty to be. He was professional, he was smart, he knew his limitations, and he also did the best that he could in this really, really impossible situation that he was put in.
Right.
He was an Uber driver for the Space Wolves. Throwing that out there.
I mean, you're
I
not
liked
wrong.
him. I liked him better than any of the other Hellbender characters. They both annoyed the crap out of me. I
Again,
have
because he's
never enjoyed them.
adopted.
I honestly think it might be that.
Like he was
He's one of the lesser
he was born out
sons.
in space. He wasn't born on Fenris because believe me, if he was, we would have heard it like every 5 seconds because that's what they do.
Oh my god. Yeah, he was just a real normal dude. And I liked that. That made him super compelling within the crew. Um, and I would actually say a good foil kind of to the Space Wolves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like my boy Brynjar. I really did like him. That was, yeah, the more that we're talking about this, the less I think I liked Ivar Krakenblood, which is really unfortunate, if we're being honest. All right, so where do they go from here? All of them.
Apparently
Where
nowhere.
does Darrell Hellbender?
So apparently the story is over and we've now officially killed off the last of the Hellventers. So
Yeah. Okay, so I love that you think that. Which story is he going to inexplicably pop up in next?
he won't.
What?
He won't. I mean,
Gerald Hellbender?
yeah,
Oh no, I think he will.
Nah.
I think, unfortunately, I think you actually might have stumbled onto something inadvertently.
Because the queen's still alive. So what do we need these scions for? We don't.
Well, yeah, but the one's missing, and so he probably is gonna the next book is gonna be him.
Well, yes,
across them.
the actual daughter is missing.
We're right, but I think the next book will probably be Gerald accidentally stumbling into them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Hellventers are he just like Salt Bay, just little Hellventer, just sprinkling them into every book. They're very important.
Yeah. Just like certain people in the Horse Heresy were very important.
God damn, it's borderline true. They're not fully, I will say this right now, that the Hellventers are not fully in Johnny G territory for me. But they're not too far either.
Like, I would probably respect them a lot more if we didn't bring the mother back from the dead, to be honest.
Yeah.
But that annoyed the crap out of me. And then she annoyed me further in Dawn of Fire. So, whatever.
Yeah, that's fair. But here's the thing that was weird is that that character was written, I felt so poorly. I was not invested in her. And I know that we talked at length about that in Dawn of Fire and in her book. But this character was written so well.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a bummer. Is it the Fenrisian thing, or is it, and I am going to play this card. Is it because he struggles writing female characters, but doesn't struggle writing male characters? Where Kadra is a really good example, right? The Skald. Bodil was okay in this book. She wasn't super annoying, except for that, that one time that she just disappears until she's needed again.
Right. I mean, you might have something there about writing female characters.
Maybe that's his struggle point. And that's fine. Not judging.
Like, it just feels like he feels like he can't give them any flaws, which is a problem.
That is a problem. I don't know that I would do well writing male characters. Full disclosure.
Well, I mean, that's fine, but we're also not an author. We're not writing these books and getting paid for it. So
there is that. I do. So I had bought the limited edition. I had actually meant to buy the hardcover, but I had bought the limited edition. It is really pretty. It is. I mean, this thing is murdered out. The black pages. Love it. Absolutely love it.
I mean, I didn't like the book, but I kind of like how Only Krakenblood is shiny.
Right.
That's kind of cool.
I did like that on the art. I don't regret getting the limited edition, but I don't necessarily love it either. I don't know. I'm very mid on the book, and actually, as we've talked about it here, I kind of went down a little bit even on it because of all the little things that did irk me in the book. But it was a good Space Wolves. It was fine for a Space Wolves book. It was fine for a new book. I do feel as though there was a lot about this book that it felt like just like from a meta commentary on Marc Collins as an author, this did feel like you can see how he's growing as an author.
Yeah, just unfortunately, like I really only liked one of his books, and that was the Grim Repast, because that was the crime series, and I missed the crime series a lot.
Same.
I thought Helbrecht was okay. What I really liked about Helbrecht, honestly, was probably in the opening chapter when Gulliman's like, "You remind me of Sigismund," and he's like, "Thank you." Yeah, that wasn't a compliment.
That wasn't a compliment.
Like
Yeah.
that was great, but I think also the problem is the Black Templars just in themselves aren't exactly interesting half the time. I think that they are good support characters because they are so
They're better bridesmaids.
Yeah, they're so straight laced.
Much like the sisters, I prefer them as the bridesmaids.
Unless it's the Order of the Bloody Rose.
Oh, yeah. If it's Danny Ware writing the Order of the Bloody Rose, I am here for it.
Right, we're front and center asking for more.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah. So, didn't he write some audio dramas that you really liked?
No, you're thinking of Alec Worley.
Oh, I am thinking of Alec Worley. He also wrote a really good crime series.
I would like something else from him too, by the way.
Yeah.
Bagot and Claude. That book was excellent, and his short stories are delightful. But we need to bring back the horror and the crime line to have those, apparently. God, now that you mentioned that, how long ago was that?
I don't even want to think about it. All those books that were started in the crime line that was like a Quillen Drask story, a Lux and Noctis story. And it's a story, yes, but we haven't gotten anything else. Actually, I think the last crime story we got was the one written by Jonathan D. Beer.
Keri?
Yeah.
Without looking. When did we read The Wraithbone Phoenix by Alec Worley?
Was that the last crime book we read? I thought it would have been the Jonathan D. Beer.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm just talking about the because we were just talking about how long ago was that? When did we read that book?
I'm gonna guess 2023. 22. Oh wow.
September of 2022, 3 years ago, more than 3 years ago.
Oh wow.
And you are absolutely correct. In 2023, The King of the Spoil by Jonathan D. Beer was the last one that we read. The one before that, so it was almost exactly a calendar year later. We had read the Jonathan D. Beer book from that Wraithbone Phoenix book.
Oh my gosh, that's
which
really
was
sad.
Which was a calendar year after Grim Repast by Marc Collins. That is really sad. Which was a calendar year after Flesh and Steel by Guy Haley.
Okay, so
which was like 2 months after Bloodlines.
Right. So it's been 2 years now since the last Warhammer crime. So I guess that's done.
3-hour tour.
No, wait. There was those anthologies.
Those don't count.
Yeah, I know, but there was one, oh gosh, I forget which one it was, that actually was revolving around the same incident, and I loved it. That all the short stories were around this one incident.
Yes.
Do
I have that one?
We actually could have done a podcast on that one because it actually revolved around one thing.
I would actually say that would be something we should do. Like, we should absolutely do that. If we need to go into the Wayback Machine.
Oh, yeah, I'd be happy to look at those again because it was, I loved that whole book. I can't remember what it was called. It wasn't No Good Men. It was...
yeah, it was the other one. I have it back here somewhere. Oh, so just for those playing at home, the last horror novel we read was
it The Deacon,
Nope, that was before. This
Bookkeeper
was
Skull,
When did we read that?
2023.
2022.
No, I really thought that was 2023.
And it was a calendar year after the Deacon of Wounds.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they've come out with some anthologies, but they were like broad collections, including from the old world and stuff. So
Yeah, and those ones, they count, but they also don't count.
right,
Sorry, fight me.
they're not the actual Warhammer horror series.
I do have to look. I know that we've gone completely off the rails here, and we will talk about what our next book is here in a second, but I do actually have to go and look at what that Warhammer crime. It wasn't Once a Killer. Well, the Vorbis conspiracy.
That's it.
Yes, and we should absolutely do that next year if we need a Wayback Machine, because I would happily reread those stories and let's talk about it, because that was actually a very clever concept of here's an event, let's look at it from all the different sides of it. That would be super awesome, and we must do this. But I have been barely contained excitement to discuss what our next book is. I want you to know that it's just been sitting over here on my little desk, and I'm just...
Is it this one?
Oh my God, it is. Is that The Relentless Dead by Steve Lyons? Yes, it is. Is it another Krieg book? Yes. Is it the same black and white and it absolutely fits up with its brothers up there on the table? It does. You guys, this is the thing that has me really concerned, is that I've been trying to keep my expectations managed and stuff. I am. The expectations, the hype is real.
The hype is real, but and there is always a chance that, because they all can't be perfect. They all can't be diamonds, right? However, I have faith because it's the Krieg, and I think Steve Lyons writes them so incredibly well. So
I agree with that statement. Yeah, I agree with that statement, and I do think that it's going to be good. I really do. I have a lot of hope for it. He really has a good handle on the Krieg, and I also like the idea, going back to the Vorbis conspiracy, I like that he always is writing about the same regiment, but it's never the same people.
Right.
Great. It's just a fun thing.
I think it would be awful if it was the same people.
Okay. As the person who has read all of the Gaunt's Ghost books, I have mixed feelings on that. Would I love to have seen more, would I have loved to have seen more from, Tyvek? Yeah, very much so. But to your point.
However, I just think with the Krieg, I like the fact that it's how they respond to these different situations, like a planet getting taken over, an unwinnable war. Hey, why do you guys wear masks?
Yep.
So that's how I like it. If Nick Heim ever wanted to do a Volpone Glory series or a trilogy where he used the same characters, I'd be totally down for that. And,
absolutely.
But I wouldn't even mind, like you said, the Tyvek. I wouldn't mind a series on that, but I love the fact that it's just these different scenarios of the Krieg and how we all understand them. I think it's what they were trying to do in a way with some of these Astra Militarum series books, that they were taking here's how the Catachan would be. Well, I would think it'd be cool if we did a Catachan series where maybe it's not the same Catachan, but it's here's how the Catachan in this environment when they're meshed in with these people, that could be a lot of fun. But with Steel Tread, that I kind of look at as a spiritual sequel to Shadow Sword and Baneblade, right? Yeah.
Where it's here's how the mech crew, this is how they react to this, and these are some somewhat different stories. And yes, I actually like that idea, and I think I would really like to see that in that Astra Militarum series. Is okay, we have a Krieg series. We have a Cadian series. We
Mm-hmm.
have I would love a Volpone series. I would love to see.
Well, we already kind of have a Cadian series with Justin D. Hill's Minka
Yeah, but
Lusk.
those are the same characters. I I think it would be fun as we were talking about like with the Krieg, where it's like, okay, and here's how they're in like they are in this situation, and here's another group of them, and this kind of explains a little bit more about. And I guess Katie, I guess you're right. Katie has kind of been done to death. Um, a a
Hey, hey.
um, it's funny because their planet is dead. Um, jokes are so much funnier when you explain them. Um, but there's a bunch of them that I would love to see, and I'm totally their name is escaping me. They're the Russians. Gosh, dang it. Mm. I would also take the Mordian Steel Legion. I would like too, but the guys, they're basically the Russians. Mother Fletcher.
It's not the Talarn. It's
It starts with a V. Hip of my god, the Valhallans.
oh, but we already kind of had them.
Kind of. With their big fur hats.
And their amazing commissar.
Yeah. No, I would very much, or am I thinking the Voistrans? It's like the Voistrans. Anyways, doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying. I would like to see more of this. And I guess really what I'm saying is I really just want to see, I just kind of want to see more of the Imperial Guard. I think I think these are some of the really fun books where we get to see the real horror.
Yep.
Hi, Firecast.
Exactly, 100%. So it's funny you mentioned like that Steel Tread is possibly a spiritual successor to Baneblade and Shadow Sword, because I think I have more proof that someone from the Black Library and or Games Workshop listens to this podcast. Because about 2 weeks after our podcast came out about Shadow Sword, suddenly there's an audio version. There's now a new audio version of Shadow Sword.
Yes. That was kind of strange, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's not the first time that they've done something like that. We talked about the Krieg, how much we really loved it, and they had those limited editions. We're like, oh my God, wouldn't it be so great if that other one was limited edition? Well, what happened? So maybe, this is testing the waters, maybe we could get another, like a sequel maybe to Shadow Sword. See what other tank this guy can destroy.
Well, and like I was thinking about like Final Deployment was a really good example of something when we were looking at the Tempestus Scions, right?
Right.
Although I did want more of Norrell.
Yeah. Oh man, that book came out of nowhere. I had no expectations for that book and just loved it.
Oh, same. Mostly because I really liked Norrell as a character. I like, and Davalind even. We've gone firmly off the rails. Do you want to take us out, Keri?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, we could just continue talking about how great the Astra Militarum books are all day. So, anyway, you've listened to the Warhammer 40k book club episode regarding Krakenblood by Marc Collins. Be sure to join us next time for Relentless Dead by Steve Lyons. More Krieg. Yay. We are an unofficial book club and not affiliated with the Black Library or any of its affiliates. You can find both the vidcast and podcast on our website, WH40bookclub.com. If you like this episode, please like, subscribe, give a review, and all those wonderful things to the vidcast on YouTube, Spotify, or Rumble, or the podcast anywhere you get podcasts. And come join the Discord. We have fun discussions in there, and people post really funny memes. Oh my God, I've been dying at some of the memes lately. So dang funny. And sometimes people show what they're painting, although they haven't lately. It's about to be winter, people. What else are you doing besides holding up in your basements and painting? Get to showing them. I am not one of them because I do not have the talent. But our site also has articles about our ventures in reading other Warhammer 40k books and short stories outside of the book club books. So please stay a while and read from a crack. I really wish I had some more tea, but I don't. So that's sad.
You don't have any tea. But can I interest you in a gas mask? And a shovel?
You know what? I think I still have my gas mask from that Metro 2033 event.
Okay, it's funny that you say that because I was literally just thinking about that as I was like, oh man. But it's like a legit gas mask and putting it on. Oh. I did get it over my face entirely,
No,
but
I
that
couldn't. I
immediately.
couldn't. Like, I was like, this is really cool that I have this, I guess, for when the apocalypse happens, but it's firmly like buried in a trunk. So yes,
Do you know how old that was? I have a picture of
oh
my
my
boss
God.
at
So
Examiner
all right,
wearing it.
so we were still in video games, and
I still worked at Examiner.
my last E3 was 2016. So I'm going to guess 2014.
No, it was older than that because I was working at Examiner.
So 2012, 2011.
Around in there, yes.
Wow.
And I want to say it was 2011 only because my boss at the time, I have a picture of him wearing it, and we did one of our massive rounds of layoffs in 2012. So I don't remember how close it was to the layoffs.
Okay.
But yeah, that's how old that was. And yet it still feels closer than the last crime novel that we read. Anyways,
It kind of does, actually. It's sad. All right.
good night,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.